I picked up the camera every day, showed people my life. That was the hardest channel I've ever had. I won over $800+ on it. I redeemed it for actual cash into my account. But I've never won that much at once. It was a really good time, and it was very memorable.
Welcome back, everybody, to the SlotsFan podcast. On this show, we get to talk to slots content creators about their channels and their biggest wins, their favorite games, and some of their casino tips for having more fun, more safely playing slots. And today we've got a really awesome guest. It's Mo from Mo Gambles. Thank you so much for being here, Mo. I'm really excited to chat with you.
Hey, thank you so much. I'm excited to be here as well.
Before we get started, I hope everyone who's watching can follow the link in our description if they're not already subscribed to Mo, and check out her channel and subscribe and watch some of the videos. I had a chance to do a bit of a deeper dive into your channel, Mo, and you've got so much fun content on there, and I'm really excited to learn what your experience has been like. So usually when we get started, I like to ask, like, how did you get into this space? How long have you been playing slots? What led to you actually starting your own channel?
Well, I want to say maybe around 2014. I was not a gambler. I was in a relationship, and we have some casinos here in Alabama that are class 2 casinos. So they're not your regular class 3 casinos. And, we used to go down there, and I was like, I didn't even know this was here. And I think I won on an old WMS game. I think it was like Pride of Africa or something like that with the lion heads. And I won like $400 on a 80-cent bet. And I was like, oh, I like this. So I started researching on YouTube different games. But since I was going to a class 2 casino, a lot of those games weren't online. But I found great people like Vegas Low Roller, Slotaholic, and Brian Christopher. So I started watching their content. And then I found SC Slots. And I was like, I can do this. I had already created a couple of other YouTube channels that I enjoyed. But I was like, I really want to do slots. And I was like, I can do this. So let me give it a try. And that's kind of how it started. I started without ever going to a class 3 casino. I only started with going to Wind Creek at class 2.
So what you said you started, like you played your first slot in 2014. How long did that whole process take before you actually launched your YouTube channel for slots?
Ooh, I did not launch it until 2021.
Mm-hmm.
So it took a while.
What was the experience like? It sounds like you had some experience on YouTube, which is like, even apart from slots, the journey of being a YouTube creator can be a lot of ups and downs and takes a lot of work. What was your experience like getting into YouTube for slots?
It was very welcoming. This is one of the best communities that I've ever came across. So when I started uploading content, it was a lot of people, a lot of content creators that were doing slots that were small, but larger than I was, that welcomed me in and ushered me in. And it was just that was amazing. Now, the growing part, definitely, I didn't have the instant growth like some content creators, because I'm not betting huge, but I'm not betting low to the floor either. So I'm kind of right in the middle. So it's been a slower growth than I want it to be, but it has been overall very fun, fulfilling, collaborating with casinos and going to different places that I have never been before. So overall, the YouTube experience has been, I must say, one of the best.
Everyone we talk to always has so much positive stuff to say about the slots YouTube community and like the reception and support that they get from other influencers. And it does seem pretty special, even like in the YouTube world. Looking at your channel, I can see that you're, at least for a while, you haven't been restricting yourself to just Alabama casinos. What was the process like? Was this something that allowed you to because it sounds like you have a passion for playing slots. Did the channel and these kind of opportunities give you the chance to visit other places that you might not have? And maybe can you tell us a bit about some of the fun places that the channel's taken you to over the last few years?
Yes, well, it took me to Vegas, of course. I recently got married in 2020. And so for our second anniversary, my spouse was like, how do you have a slot channel and never been to Vegas? I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. So my spouse was like, let's go for our anniversary. And funny side note, but funny thing, my anniversary for the last 5 years upcoming this year as well, because it'll be our 5th year anniversary, has fell on G2E.
Okay.
And I've never been, and I was just so confused, like, why are all these people in Vegas? Like, I couldn't figure out why they were there, but that's crazy. And I'm like a slot influencer, and I have no idea about G2E. I know nothing about that. So, but back to the original question, it took me to Vegas. It has taken me to Mississippi. It's taken me to Louisiana, and as of right now, in California. I used to live in California, so I have family out there. So I have
Okay.
been to California and played as well in San Diego is where I used to live. So,
Oh, that's
but
awesome.
yeah, so it's taken me to those 4 places as of right now, but I'm trying to get some more places. Like I'm trying to go to Reno. I'm trying to go to Yamava, which is like in Highlander, California or something like that. So I've never been to those places and I really want to go.
Hey everybody, we wanted to take a second to share a new video we just released designed to address your biggest concerns about playing online slots on sweepstakes casinos. We know you all love playing slots at the real casino, and some of you might not feel comfortable giving online slots a try. I answer common questions like how sweepstakes casinos work, why they're legal in most of the US and Canada, and whether they're fair and safe. We also address the unique, responsible gaming risks that come with playing online. If you're interested, follow the link, check out the video, and let us know what you think in the comments. Thanks very much, and now, back to the show. I've been to Reno a couple times, and it's so fun. It's super like chill version of Vegas, where it's like a big locals casino, it feels like. You mentioned before the show, actually, that you are doing a collaboration with Coushatta and IGT for maybe a new Wheel of Fortune or Wheel of Fortune game that they have there. Can you tell us what that's all about and what it's been like?
So, Wheel of Fortune has just released maybe a couple of months ago their big money slots. It's Cash Link Big Money Slots. So it's a newer version of the Cash Link Wheel of Fortune that was already out, and they put it like in a new cabinet. So Coushatta Casino has gotten that game there, and they're going to do on June 6th, which is this Friday, that's coming up, a giveaway for up to $5,000 in free play. And a 7-day carnival cruise with IGT and Wheel of Fortune.
Oh,
And
cool.
they're gonna give away a entry to each winner to go into a $1 million slot tournament while on board the cruise. So
Yeah, I read about it. I think Dustin posted about it. Like
yeah.
Cajun Slots posted about it. That looks epic. What a cool promotion.
Yes, absolutely. And it was so fun recording with Dustin and Micah. We were all in the same spot, like space. It was just a really good time.
That's awesome. We should get this clip posted before then, because if anyone does have a chance to participate, that sounds like a really cool opportunity. Are you going to be there for the actual event on Friday, or is it like a live thing?
No, I will not be there. Unfortunately, Coushatta is about 8.5 hours away from my house. So I have
Hmm.
to definitely plan when I go. It was just so happened that I was going that weekend and it kind of just worked out. But
Okay.
I had not planned to go this weekend. So I wanted to, but I was like, well, maybe I don't want to be in the mix and I want somebody to win, like one of the patrons of the casino, because they have so many
Sure.
loyal casino patrons. It's unreal.
Yeah, Coushatta seems like like you mentioned Yamava and like El Cortez comes to mind of these properties that have really leaned into like the influencer opportunity. And maybe just because I'm really in the influencer space as well, but it seems like it's paying off for these places. And there's a lot of brand awareness happening. Coushatta is
Yes.
like everywhere all the time. So that's so cool that you're able to participate in that.
Mhm.
Is that a Cash Link Wheel of Fortune, the one that like awards $1 million prizes, or is what's because I've seen a few winners over the last while, like
Yes,
six-figure Wheel of Fortune winners.
it does have a six-figure grand. So the progressives were massive. Like the minor was like 1,700, the
Wow.
major was 23,000, and the grand was over 800,000.
Wow.
So that one is a six figure, can get up to, even plus it can go up and up. So that one was really fun. And it's very similar to one that they have out where the money falls. And then you
Mhm.
have the treasure chest that falls on reel 5 and it awards all of the coins. But it also has two new pots. One that is big money, which can flip at any time. It's a random trigger. It can be triggered. And then it also has the free games that has a pot. You can also get 3 free games to get it, but you can also trigger the pot with just one free game icon or a
Okay.
symbol. And so that's the new elements to it. And it's really fun and really cool. And I actually just posted that video today. So it's super fun. I had such a great time.
So regardless of when this video goes out, people can go over to your channel and check out the video and see what the exact stuff that you're talking about. Somebody told me one time that they've had like between 200 and 300 iterations of the Wheel of Fortune game in
Yes.
casinos since it was made. It's
Yes.
got to be one of the most popular games, I guess.
Yes, it is. I think it's IGT top ranking casino game, I guess, for the last 20 years or so. They said
Wow,
since they've been making it, and they just renewed their contract. IGT just renewed their contract with Wheel of Fortune for another 10 years so that they can continue to make those games and have that licensing. So,
that's cool. You see some of these like popular brands being licensed to make slots, like even like Whitney Houston and stuff. But it seems like the Wheel of Fortune one's such a good match because it's like it is a game itself already, and it's so popular and people get it. It's such a fun game,
it
and
is.
the games they make are crazy, like with the giant wheels and stuff.
Mhm. And that's the cool thing. It has a new giant wheel, so you don't have individual wheels. Everyone shares a wheel on that bank, and it's so cool.
That's awesome. Speaking of games, what are some of your other favorite games, and what kind of games maybe do you like playing, and do you find that make for good content on your channel?
My favorite of all time is going to be Dancing Drums by Light and Wonder. I absolutely love that game because I feel like at any bit level, you can win on Dancing Drums. So that one always makes great content. Also, people love Dragon Link. They make good content. And then my next favorite would probably have to be Huff and Puff. I mean, you who doesn't love Huff and Puff? It's just it has evolved into something massive. So I really enjoy that game. And then of course all variations of Buffalo. It's not a variation of Buffalo I don't love.
That's awesome. At slotsfan.com, we're just writing a piece that goes through every variation of Buffalo, and there's
Yes.
quite a few. I think there's like over 20 or something.
Yes.
So, well, you've got a great list of really popular games that are fun and I think seem to do well on YouTube.
Mhm.
Do you choose the games mainly on ones that you like to play yourself, or do you feel like the response that the videos get on YouTube is a big factor for you when you're kind of selecting what games to play?
It's both for me. Because I go to a class 2 casino, they are doing a lot better with getting new games. Light and Wonder is amazing with making class 2 titles that are already class 3, like just converting them over. So that's the good thing. But a lot of new games we don't get until about a year or two later.
Mm,
So I go with what's going to make a good video for me because if I'm not excited, if I'm playing a game just because it's new, and it's like I'm not into it, my audience is gonna feel that I'm not into it. They're gonna be like, "Ugh, this video's a dud." And I want to make it exciting for them, and I want them to have a good time with me because they're my crowd. Like that's who I'm talking to through the camera, my people. So my slot peeps. So I make sure that it's something that I'm excited about. And Buffalo. It doesn't matter what variation of Buffalo you play, you always get a good response on YouTube. It's not it always comes through good. And we get some variations of Buffalo that is not common in class 3. Like we have the quad power, which is a newer variation of Buffalo that just came out. And it's been doing really good. I actually got a quad pop on it, a 4 pop on it. last week when I went to the casino. So that was really exciting. So, I mean, I just play what makes me happy because at the end of the day, they're watching you for content, not because of what you're playing. They watching you because you're their favorite. They like your personality. They want to feel your vibe. So I want to be happy.
Yeah, definitely for the loyal, audience and the loyal members of your community, I'm sure care way more about you having fun and, than specific games. But yeah, it seems like some games, sure, like they get more search traffic and stuff like that on YouTube. Buffalo kind of checks all the boxes because it's popular and is always super fun to play.
Absolutely.
I saw one of your most popular videos was on Buffalo on a version, I don't know, it was like Buffalo Chief, or I'm not sure what that one is called.
It
That
probably
was
is.
a fun video.
Yeah,
That
Buffalo
was,
Chief. I like them.
yeah, I don't think I've played that before. I like watching, like, I don't go to live casinos a ton, but watching channels sure helps me find games that like I'm excited to go and find that I haven't played before.
Yeah.
So speaking, you mentioned a hit that you had last week. I always like to ask content creators about their memorable wins or even their memorable experiences at the casino. We love hearing big win and fun stories. Do you have anything that you can share with our audience that we haven't heard?
Yes. Well, because nobody probably knows this, but like close friends and family. Because I made several videos out of all of these jackpots. It was in a 24-hour span that I went to my local casino, which is about an hour and 20 minutes from my house. And I won over $12,000 in jackpots in a
Wow.
24-hour span. And I was just, but I've never won that much at once. But it was just over that 24 hours. And that was across two casinos because we have two casinos that's maybe 15 minutes away from each other.
Okay.
And and they're the same chain. But out of those two casinos, I won over 12 grand. And I was just like, oh, I just kept hitting jackpots. And I was like, what is going on? it was a really good time. And it was very memorable.
We all, there's always times when things aren't going like that. And so when you're running really good and, there's always times, even if they're infrequent, that things are just going great for like a while. And there's nothing better than that feeling. Can you paint us a picture or tell us any more details about like what games or what happened or any of the more memorable hits that you had on that trip?
Absolutely. So it was on a Friday night. It was I came in on a Friday night. We stayed. My spouse had to work an hour and 20 minutes in that city. And I was like, oh, you don't want to stay at that hotel your company's getting? That's fine. Let's see if we can get something at Wind Creek. So we got a hotel. And that night, nothing really happened that Friday night. Well, Saturday, when my spouse went to work, I got on Firelink, $10 bet, over 3K on that jackpot. Okay. I left because I thought my spouse wasn't going to have to work in that city anymore. I was like, oh, well, we're going home. I'm going to go pick up the dog and we're going to be at home. And before I left with that 3K, I won another 1,400. And I was like, okay, that's going good. Well, I left, came back home, an hour and 20 minutes. My spouse called and said, babe, we're going to have to stay down in the other city tonight. I was like, okay, let's see if I can get another room. Because I had already checked out. And I did. Okay, no problem. Before my spouse could get from the work site, I had won 3K on Buffalo Gold Collection. Just a $6
like
bet.
3K.
Yeah, on 1 cent denom. I said, okay, cool. So we stayed, and that was Saturday. So I won a couple of other just nice wins, 900, 700, And then Sunday, I went to the next Wind Creek property after my spouse went to work. And I was like, okay, let's see what I could do. Dancing drums, 1,700. And then Blueberry, which is a class 2, mostly a class 2 game manufacturer. One of their Zing Fu games, which is really cool. I won 1,400 on that one. So all of that just together.
That's crazy.
It was just, and then all of those 900, because once you're winning, you're winning. So I had an amazing weekend, and I was just like, I can't believe this happened. So
That's like you could play tons of sessions without having even one of those wins to get all of it in a couple days. That's so fun. What did you guys do to celebrate? Any fun experiences?
yes, we end up going to Vegas the next month because that was in July. We end up going to Vegas in August, and that's where I met Josh and Joseph from Slaughterholic. I am one of their channel members, and they had like a super event. That's what they call their channel
Yeah.
supporters, and I went to meet them, and then won a couple of more jackpots. Won my first this wasn't a jackpot, but what is it? The Dollar Storm. I got the what is it? Mega Chance,
Hmm.
the Grand Chance or whatever on the Dollar Storm.
Okay.
I got that for the first time on that trip, so that was really cool. And then I got $1,900 on Buffalo Link. So
So the good luck continued on your celebration trip.
yes, absolutely. So it was fun. It was amazing and overwhelming and just everything.
That's so cool. I had a chance to hang out with Josh and Joseph in Las Vegas at an event, and they were super fun. Those guys are great, and their channel's really awesome.
I agree.
Yeah. Any other, I mean, it's hard to top that, but any other stories of memorable wins or other cool stuff that you've had a chance to do, like through the channel and through your work in slots?
I've worked with Coushatta Casino, not just with the Wheel of Fortune. That poster behind me was for the Beat the Slots tournament that I was
Mm-hmm.
a part of. I was the last slot influencer of last year in November. So that was really fun. And that just comes from me working on the channel and putting that work in. The marketing manager at Coushatta is amazing. He is just he's he's so nice. Like I could call him now and just talk to him and he'll always tell me, "Oh, thanks for coming. Thanks for calling me." Like he's just always so kind, and that gave me opportunities to do that and do the scavenger hunt with Coushatta Casino. So just doing that alone has helped me just doing YouTube alone has helped me get like opportunities like that. And then I also go to Tunica a lot, which I know a lot of people don't go to Tunica unless that's like a locals area because it's not much to do there. But the marketing
I've been
woman, huh?
I've been to Tunica probably like 5 times.
Yeah. How did you
Or
like it?
I like it. I think it's cool. I found the people super, like there's so much hospitality there. And I used to go for poker tournaments. They'd have like the World Series of Poker circuit. I think they even had a World Poker Tour event there. But yeah, a place I would never go, probably never have a chance to go if it wasn't for this work.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've also connected with one of the marketing directors at Hollywood Casino in Tunica. She is amazing. She's amazing. Now they don't do as much as Coushatta, but she wants to. And I tell her all the time, I was like, "Oh, this is what they're doing." And she was like, "Okay, I'm working on it. Don't worry, girl." Like, I'm gonna
That's
make
cool.
sure I get you in. So she's great too. So just being on YouTube has opened up a lot of opportunities where I don't think I wouldn't even had the confidence to ask anyone or, let them know what I'm doing. So
It's fun to be able to combine like something that you're passionate about and enjoy doing with work like that. And I know how much work goes into a YouTube channel of any size, really. So it's not maybe not the easiest way to get there, but it's so fun to be able to do something that you're really excited about.
I
Um,
agree.
do you mind me asking what your other YouTube channels, what they were about?
One was, which is really popular right now, is cleaning. I love
Okay.
cleaning. And if you watch TikTok any, clean talk is on the rise. And like I was like, what was TikTok when I was doing this 10, 8 years ago? But so I used to clean, like just clean stuff, and people loved it. But then I had another channel where I vlogged, where I picked up the camera every day, showed people my life. That was the hardest channel I've ever had. It's so much work and it's so much pressure to look a certain way, talk a certain way, present things a certain way. And those are the hardest channels to grow because let's be honest, if you're not teaching somebody something on YouTube or showing them something or entertaining them, they don't care about your life or if you don't have any drama. So that was one of the hardest channels I've ever had. But the cleaning channel, I got like 1,000 subscribers in like 3 months. It was so easy. It was easier than slots,
It's
honestly.
cheaper to clean something than play a slot machine.
Definitely, definitely. But
That's
yeah,
the best YouTube channels are ones you actually get paid for what you're doing to make the content,
yeah,
as opposed to
absolutely.
slots. But it does sound like, especially the vlogging one and any kind of YouTube that just shows you how to use, how to be a creator and all the stuff that goes into it. Sounds like it was awesome prep for your current channel with slots, and, maybe what cleaning had in terms of like being cheap, slots maybe has it beat in terms of excitement or potential excitement. Um, what
Absolutely.
do you, what do you think it is? It sounds like you went through the process of playing slots, this is a really common journey. It seems like having fun playing slots, going online to maybe learn more, to see new games, to do whatever kind of thing, and then discovering slots content like on YouTube and social media. What do you think is it's really it's grown in popularity. Maybe the pandemic had something to do with accelerating that, but what is it about this content and the content creators that makes it so engaging? And, what do you point to when we see all this growth in the space?
I think it's the people, it's the personalities, and it's the games too. Some people want education on the games. That's why I love slots. I used to play video games as a kid, so now slots are like my adult video games. Like the arcade trained me for the casino. Is that a lot of people say that's the casino is the adult arcade basically, but I think all of that just because it teaches you something. I know people think, oh, what are you learning from putting your money in? You're learning the mechanics of the games. Like each game, Huff and Puff. Um, yes, they reuse some of the mechanics, but they always have a twist. Like Huff and Even More Puff with the howls and the different tail flickers that throw out the hats. Like those things are things that you wouldn't know if you didn't use YouTube. So I think it's helping the community because it's teaching you something. In G2E, which I will be attending this year because my anniversary won't fall on the exact day that I need to go and to look at the booth. So that helped me out. But I want to learn about I'm a geek. I want to learn about the games. I want to learn about the person who designed the wolf. Like I want to learn like how did you start drawing it? It's not just the game for me. It's all of it. It's everything. It's the people. It's the personalities. It's the mechanics of the games. It's the animation of the games, and the story basically behind the games too.
Yeah, it's interesting, the analogy of video games to slots, because I think people have maybe people who aren't playing slots have an idea that there isn't really a lot of entertainment value to the games. It's like a free reel machine or whatever, and it's about the gambling. More and more, it does offer more entertainment and more story, more like the art, the music, all this different stuff. So do you think that that's where slots will continue going? I feel like there's a bit of an issue where younger customers don't like, there's not enough of that to compete with real video games, which, plenty of adults just keep playing regular video games through childhood straight into adulthood. Where do you think slots are going, and what do you think the opportunity is when it comes to providing even more entertainment? Because I do see that a lot.
I think they're going to evolve even more. You could look at the animation of go back to Huff and Puff, the original Huff and Puff, to we'll go to High Rise, Huff and Puff High Rise now. Like the animation has evolved completely. So that entertainment factor just gives you a different type of boost that a video game can't give you. And I know a lot of people are not just like, oh, I don't want to put my money in there. At least I could play the video game for free. But if you get entertainment factor from it, I think that a lot more young people are gonna come into it. Like you can now you watch all of the influencers. You got young people like Jackpot J, Brisky. Those are young gentlemen that are
Mhm.
they do sports betting. Of course, that's where they get most of their money. But now they're going over to slots and they're playing like the Dragon Links, the Huff and Puffs, and the Top Dollars, those ones that give you like that feeling, those ones that keep you entertained. So I think they're going to continue to entertain people, and it's going to grab more people in, because 3 years ago it wasn't those young people that were sports betting that were even posting content. That is literally a new, like in the past year, something new. So it's going to attract more people in. And even with my daytime job, I hear a lot of people saying, oh, I've been doing a lot of social casinos. So those are, even with social media, it's attracting the younger crew. They're going to come in because it's telling them a story and it's entertaining them as well. And then if you have somebody that's animated like myself or anyone else on the screen, that's going to draw them in. They're going to say, oh, I'm gonna watch this person because they make it fun and they're telling me a story behind it.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. When you say social casinos, do you mean like apps, like online social casinos? Have
Absolutely.
you have you messed around at all with any sweepstakes or social casinos at all?
I've played Wild Vegas, and I've played 66 before. And those are the only two that I really played. But Wild Vegas, I do enjoy that one. I've won on it. I've won over $800+ on it.
Were you able to redeem the coins for cash prizes?
I did. I redeemed it for actual cash into my account.
Nice. Yeah, it's funny. I just I made a purchase on Wow Vegas earlier today, and hadn't been on the site for a while, and was pretty blown away by how much like development they've done on the site. There's so much, not just games, but all kinds of other cool bonuses and kind of like loyalty stuff. That's one thing online's cool. They've really, like, we talk about gaming and entertainment, like even the app itself is like really gamified with all these different, races and challenges and scavenger hunts and all this kind of different stuff. So with your audience and other people in the space, do you hear anything about sweepstakes and social casinos? And do you get a sense of like if it's catching on, and what people's reactions or either concerns or what they like about sweepstakes and social casinos?
I think it's catching on. I hear a lot of people say positive things about it, that it gives them an option to play casino-like games at home, or the convenience from their home or bed or whatever the case may be. I haven't heard a lot of horror stories, but unfortunately, I have heard one recently, and it was about Wild Vegas. But I mean, to each, every story has two parts, so I don't know the entire truth about it. But with my experience with Wild Vegas, it's all tens for me. And I've cashed out again $800+ multiple times. So,
Yeah,
I've
no, it's cool playing on sites like that where you can redeem for cash prizes. And then I've also had fun just playing on straight social casinos where there's no cash prizes, but you can play a ton for little, like maybe no money or a small amount of in-app purchases, and it's still got like a lot of the same entertainment stuff. And it seems like for a lot of people, it's like takes the pressure off a bit because they can just play more and not feel, because I think like the responsible gambling side of playing slots online, whether it's for real money or like at sweepstakes sites, people still are like, and I think valid to be cautious about getting into that stuff, because definitely like the accessibility part that you mentioned makes it that much easier. Those
I agree.
responsible gambling messages are even more important maybe with online. Maybe this is a good place to segue into some of that responsible gambling messaging that I think influencers by and large take pretty seriously for themselves, but also for their audience. What's your take on, your role as an influencer, and do you feel like you have a responsibility, or are there messages that you feel are important to get across to your audience?
Absolutely. I believe in responsible gambling. My tip and my take is, if you do not have the funds, you shouldn't be doing it. Like, that's the responsible gambling part. You only gamble what you are able to do. If it's not something that you're able to do, find your favorite content creator and watch them. They're doing it for you. They're taking the risk so that you don't have to. So that's another thing that influencers are doing. They're making responsible gambling easier for those who may not have that opportunity. Some people just don't have the opportunity to either travel to the casino or have the excess money to play because it can get very expensive. And the most important thing is if you do not have it, do not play it
If you can't afford to lose it, don't play.
at all. Don't do it. Don't even tempt yourself. Don't go. Watch people on YouTube. It's a lot of people who are taking risks. This community has became humongous with different type of content creators. You have the people that do $1,000 to spend. You got people that do $50, people that do $10, and people who do 50 cents to spend. You can find someone that is hitting the bet that makes you feel good and giving you that sensation that you need without actually spending your money. But if it's something that you can't afford, go ahead and do it. It's fun. It's relaxing. I even got my aunt into gambling because she had been just stressed out with home life. And she was like, oh, I see why you gamble. This relaxed me. She said, this money that I have that I came here with, I can afford to lose it. And once you put it in the machine and you're okay with losing it, you have the best experience ever. And that's probably when you win the best. I'm telling you, scared money does not make money. So you
You
have
gotta
to
let
be
go of
okay
it.
with it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like the whole thing of treating it as an entertainment cost, to me, it makes so much sense. You know, there's plenty of stuff like if I take my family to the movies these days, like that's a big entertainment cost. And I'm have to be comfortable, quote unquote, losing or spending that money. And if you go to the casino with $100, you can have a absolutely fantastic time, for that amount or whatever amount's right for you. But yeah, like the whole experience is so fun. And I feel like that's a big reason, people love it's like a vicarious experience that we can have at home by watching people like you, and you can participate in that because everyone or a lot of people would love to be like going to the casino on a regular basis, but it's just not a thing that you can either afford to do or have access to or anything like that.
Right.
But it's like, and the fact that you can interact with it's like it's so social even from home, especially with live streams, being in the live chat. It's such a cool experience. I can see why it's so popular, especially among people who like to have that experience but can't do it all the time.
Right. I agree. I agree.
So what are your plans? You mentioned that you have a day job. You're really enjoying the experience of YouTube, and it, to me, feels like there's more and more opportunities with places like Coushatta, and there's so many land-based casinos in the US, as well as all these huge game developers, and influencers like you seem like such a big opportunity. Where do you want this to go for you and your channel over the next years? What are your plans? And maybe you could speak a bit to like the potential opportunities that you see for influencers for casinos and other companies.
Yes. So for my channel, what I would like to do is move my family to Vegas so that I can have access to the casinos a little more, and we can be back on the West Coast. Like I said, I used to live in California, so definitely I could be close to some more family out there. But if not, I want to continue to work with amazing casinos like Coushatta and possibly turn this into something of more of a multi-business where I don't have to do my day job. Don't get me wrong, I love my day job and I've been doing it for a very long time and I'm good at it. But everybody needs a change sometime. And like I said, I've done a couple of different YouTube channels. So I have the creative bug. And I think this is the one that bit me. So I am definitely sticking with this one. So I want the channel to grow so that I can influence people more, show people more of not just the slots, the casino, the opportunities that you can. Like you have great opportunities when you go to these casinos and you use your rewards card where you can get a comp meal, a room, or something. And that just doesn't go for playing at the casino. You can use that room to relax. You can use that meal to have a nice meal with family or friends that come into town. It's so many other things that you can do besides just gamble. And that's what I kind of want to get into as well. I want to do more of like casino tours, room tours, and gambling. Because I don't know if you watch people, it's a lot of channels that do vlogs and gambling. And
Totally.
yeah, that speaks to me more because I used to vlog. So they do a lot of gambling, but they also show their rooms, they show their food, they show their comps, they show just a part of their travel. People are interested in that, you know? So,
Totally. Yeah, I mean, you were talking earlier about, like loyal audience members who want to come and hang out with you, and then another huge group of people who just want like accurate and honest information, whether it's about games. But I also think your point about the casino tours and that kind of thing, like the experience, if you're going somewhere, you want to see like I think maybe Dustin was talking to me about this, but you don't want to just see like the professional photo on the website. You want to see like what it's really like for someone recently that's been there. And I feel like influencers are so, trusted people and knowledgeable people about this kind of stuff. So I feel like that could even have like marketing tie-ins for you and your collaborations with some of these casinos. That makes a lot of sense to them, I think, to be promoting stuff that's not just the slot machines.
absolutely.
You mentioned comps and loyalty programs. We'd like to ask influencers about their tips for having more fun at the casino, maybe getting a bit more out of their experience there. Loyalty cards and loyalty programs are always a big part of that. Do you have any tips when it comes to that, or anything else to basically like have more fun, hacks or tips or anything else that people might not know that you've learned over your time?
The only thing that I've really learned, which my good friend, the great slot saver, has taught me, he was like, make sure that if you're gonna stay a full day at one casino, that you gamble that full day. That day that you come in for 4 hours, don't use your player's card. And I agree with that because I've seen the difference. Even with the local class 2 casino, they changed their rewards program and it has gotten so much better. To where they give out their free play for me, maybe because I go so frequently, once a week. Oh, really? Every time I leave, I have free play loaded the next day. I don't know if that's for everyone or is that just because I go on a weekly basis to try to get content for the channel. Um, but it has gotten so much better with if you are consistent with how you play that bet. And people say it doesn't make a difference. I think it truly does. Sometimes the bet level that you're playing, if it's a consistent average versus if you're doing 50 cents, 20, then go up to 225 and then 750. But if you stay in a consistent middle average of like 225 to 375, I think it makes a difference on how your average coin in comes in.
Okay.
So
And your point about like going hard on one day is like they've got a playing day or something, and it's maybe between 6 a.m. and 6 a.m. and you're better off doing like, if you're there for 2 days, do all your gambling in one period, one day, and then
yes,
just instead of, because it's the average of the number of days and the number of coin in and the amount of coin in.
right, absolutely. And you don't want to
I
split
don't think
that.
people get that at all. So
Yeah.
that's a great tip and not something I've heard a ton before. It's almost a reason to go to two different casinos on 2 days and just, try to get a high average on both places. In your experience, and you mentioned that you are not a high roller, but also not a total low roller.
Mhm.
What, if people like slots, but they haven't really done much of the comps or the loyalty programs, what should someone expect? Like say they have a, $500 budget to go for a night or something at the casino. What should they expect in terms of offers for that? Or maybe you could like benchmark, like how much do you have to expect to play with to get a hotel room and some comps or something like that?
Well, each rewards one, reading the terms of the rewards program that you're of the casino you're going to. That's very important. I don't think a lot of people do that, except
I
for
don't think
people
so either.
except for people who's looking to get the best out of it or just looking to understand it, which I was just looking more to understand it. So I think a lot of casinos tell you that staying at one machine helps you. with getting your base. So I would think if you're going in with $500, and it depends on how much you coin in on it though. So if you go
Right.
in and you're paying and you're $500, but you're playing $50 to spend, I don't think you're gonna get a
Not
lot of
gonna last very
return on.
long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're going in with $500 and you're cycling that $500 through any machine at like a $5 bet level, I would expect a at least $250 in free playback, and possibly any room offer, 3 nights, any room offer.
Oh,
That's
really? Okay.
from what I would see, from what I've seen. And that was our first time going to Vegas. We stayed at Palms for a week. And a lot of people don't stay at Palms because it's close to the strip, but it's off the strip. They have one of the best uh like player rewards programs in
Okay.
Vegas. They really do. They offer you something consistently. Even if I haven't really been back to Palms since 2022, and they're still offering me rooms and free play on a weekly basis.
That's a great tip, and that's I think gives people the idea of those kind of offers for that kind of bankroll, potentially at least. Sounds really appealing. So I'm sort of hearing that depending on your bankroll, the volatility of the machines that you're playing is going to have a big effect on how many times you can run that money through the machine. You might get lucky on a higher volatility machine and be able to play a ton, but on average, probably not. So picking a bet level and a volatility level on the game for your bankroll, if you're there to try to earn some offers, is important, because you could be running that $500 through like many times on a
Right.
lower volatility machine.
Absolutely.
That's really interesting. Yeah, the Palms is sweet. One time I stayed at the Palms for 7 weeks straight when I was at the World Series of Poker, and I got enough of the Palms during that time. But it's a nice spot. Did you go across the street to the Gold Coast?
No, that was my first time there. So I didn't know about Gold Coast. I just kept wanting to go back to the strip because that's the only thing. As a new Vegas person, that's the only thing that you know. But I haven't had an opportunity to go to Gold Coast, but I will next time I go, because I'm thinking I might stay at Palms again on my next trip. Gold Coast, Orleans, I want to
Orleans
try.
is sweet. Yeah, it's the same group as the Gold Coast.
Yes, and I actually had an opportunity to go out into Summerlin because again, I want to move there. So we did do some exploring. So
Oh,
we went
nice.
out, yeah, we went out to Summerlin, and I went to the Ram Park where it's very popular for like Ruby slots and Vegas low roller. And I think their return to player is a lot better at the locals. I mean, I had a good time,
Absolutely.
and I was able to flip $100 several times. Like it was just a better return to player there.
Yeah, I think that's totally true. Like the fancier and more upscale the casino on the strip in Vegas, the poorer the RTP, and probably also the harder that's going to be to get any kind of offers for more reasonable budgets.
Right.
The Palms and Gold Coast are also really close to Chinatown in Vegas, which has really amazing Asian food if you like that kind of food.
I do.
There's so much good stuff there. Well, it's exciting that you're thinking about moving to Vegas. Like I mentioned, I used to go there for like 2 months at a time every summer and stay for, after a while of staying at hotels, just stay off strip. And it's such a nice town to live in. Like there's so much cool stuff happening there away from the casinos and away from the strip. So I wish you the best of luck with your dream to move to Vegas.
Well, thank
And
you.
I'm sure it may do a lot for your channel as well, being you'd have everything at your fingertips there.
Absolutely.
So do you have any upcoming stuff planned in the next little bit? I know you mentioned you weren't going to go try to win a seat on that cruise, the IGT cruise. You leave it for other people at their local casino. But do you have any other exciting stuff coming up?
Not as of right now. I'm just hoping that Coushatta keeps me in the pipeline for their next event, which they have a lot of them. They have so many different ones, and they work with a lot of different slot manufacturers. They've worked with IGT, Aristocrat, Light and Wonder. So they're always getting new slots. So they always have an opportunity to like have those. They call those lunch parties. Um, So hopefully, I spoke with the marketing guy. He said that he thinks that's the way he wants to go moving forward for the rest of the year. So hopefully I can be invited for some more. And
That's so cool.
I would love that.
That's awesome. I hope that they do. I think they would be smart to invite you. And from what I saw on your channel, you have a lot of fun on, you know, with the content that you're making. And I feel like that's so important. You're totally yourself and you're totally authentically having an absolute blast playing. And it's really infectious. It's really engaging. So I again encourage everybody that's made it this far in the interview to use the link in our description and check out Mo Gambles and look back on some of your videos. And you've got really fun live streams that I saw and just tons of content going up all the time. So Mo, thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure chatting with you and learning a bit more about your channel. I hope that we can check in again with another interview, and certainly keep an eye on you and your channel with the SlotsFan channels too.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me. It was a great opportunity. It's been amazing.